This video discusses a vision of the processes of knowledge creation that highlights the connections between cognitive operations, learning objects and communication devices, such that each need for knowledge must correspond to a specific device that satisfies it. Let's examine it through the following progressive table. Among the many cognitive operations involved in the processes of knowledge creation, 3 seem to be priority ones. Learning, exploring, viewing. Learning occurs when a body of knowledge is subjected to processes aimed at its lasting integration into the cognitive structure of a student. Explore occurs when a body of knowledge is investigated methodically or by trial and error in order to find precise data. Viewing occurs when a body of knowledge is illustrated for all those purposes that do not fall into the previous categories: commercial communication, narratives, instructions for use. For each of the 3 cognitive operations, 3 typical and particularly recurring learning objects are highlighted: learning abstract knowledge, procedures, sensoromotor skills; exploring texts, scenarios, databases; viewing narratives, expositions, operation flows. For each of the 9 objects, the device most suited to generating the type of knowledge required is indicated: teaching units, simulators, executors, hypertexts, hypermedia, combinators, stories, presentations, operational sequences. Finally, for each device the respective theoretical reference is indicated: model, theory, technique, discipline, method. But what are the specific objectives of the devices and what are their respective functions? Let's examine them starting from the table presented alongside. Device teaching unit. User objective: to learn declarative knowledge. Device function: to implement a process that leads to the acquisition of lasting mastery of the acquired content. Simulator device. User's goal: to learn procedural knowledge. Function of the device: to implement a process that leads to the acquisition of lasting mastery of a procedure through corrections and refinement of competence. Performer device. User's goal: to learn a sensoromotor skill. Function of the device: to provide a behavioral model to imitate and replicate for progressive adjustments. Hypertext device. User's goal: to explore a text in search of information that is useful for a variety of reasons. Device function: to provide a hypertext structure that facilitates navigation through content using a nonlinear form of reading. Hypermedium device. User's goal: to explore scenarios in search of information that is useful for a variety of reasons. Device function: to provide a hypermedia structure that facilitates navigation through content using a communication syntax based on the logic of integrated languages. Combinator device. User objective: to explore archives for investigations on already structured knowledge bases or for statistically based projective investigations. Device function: to provide a tool capable of crossing different data categories to provide ready-made answers or statistical projections derived from those crossings. Narrator device. User's objective: to view an exposition and grasp its essential features. Function of the device: to provide a text structured according to the logic of the corresponding text typologies. Presenter device. User objective: to view a presentation, both generic and commercial, driven not only by economic motivations but also by awareness of certain contents. Device function: to make emotional communication to leverage motivational factors that push the user to purchase a good or simply to adhere to the proposed idea. Operating sequence device. User objective: to view operational flows to acquire a correct behavioral matrix to put into practice. Device function: to provide related diagrams, texts, and images to communicate an overview of the procedure to be implemented, without simulations. To learn more about the topics mentioned in the video, please refer to the text, Devices, Strategies, Programs for the Creation of Knowledge.